Hello, everyone, and welcome to another podcast. Um, I'm Peach, of course, and I have with me.
Hello, hello.
All right. You wanted to start the podcast with martial arts, so just tell me about it. Like, you want to
Yeah,
start martial arts?
I want to start with that topic because I'm going to a class on Monday. I'm going to start my classes. It's going to be a this master was a karateka. Okay, he was a karate practitioner. He did a Kyokushin karate. He was really good at point karate, and he has a really nice body as well. So he was like athletic and stuff. And right now he does Muay Thai now. For those who don't know what point karate is, it's like it is the style of fighting that is very explosive at first because it is like weapon fighting rules that you have to be the first one to land a punch or a strike, whatever, and then the fight gets stopped. I don't prefer that per se. I prefer something like actually scrapping,
Yeah, like an actual fight instead of like fencing.
doing sparring. I prefer it is what I prefer, even though you don't get injured doing sparring really if you know how to train it, right? If you're like with a training partner, you don't have to go full power against them. You can go like 50% speed in the sparring, but it's still going to be tiresome because the fight does not stop after a strike or whatever. It's going to keep going and going until one or the other gets tired. So yeah, I'm going to get into that. It's going to be like Kyokushin karate and plus Muay Thai. Muay Thai is Thailand's boxing, kickboxing, which is very very intense. You use the elbows and the knees, and also it has a clinch and a takedown. It has one takedown as well. You grab the leg and then kick the other leg that is still on the ground, and that is a takedown. They
Uh,
only got that takedown that I know of though. I will prefer much more takedowns. I will prefer like judo or something like that. But you cannot get everything.
yeah, I actually
So
used to do judo when I was very, very young.
uh-huh.
Um,
They recommended for kids for some reason judo. It
um,
might be because I don't know. It's like about manipulating the gi, right? Like the uniform,
Yeah,
the
but
martial arts
also
uniform.
maybe because there isn't punching and all that. It's just takedowns, you just. So it's kind of safe to do.
It is what comes the most. With most ease to the human, I believe. Like I love the grappling art must have been the first martial art of the human body, I think. Because, for example, if you watch videos of gorillas, baby gorillas fighting, you notice that they do some wrestling moves, okay, even if though they are super basic, right? But they shoot for like they do double leg takedowns and stuff like that. They do all that unconsciously. So I believe that wrestling or some form of wrestling or grappling was the first martial art of the human animal, very possibly.
And what would you classify as martial arts versus just fighting?
Anything that is that has a practical use for martial defense. Did you know that the word martial arts comes from the Mars, the god of war, right?
Nope.
You know that? Okay, so supposedly it's called martial arts because those are the arts of Mars, of the Roman god of war, and that's why that's all it means. That's the etymology, I guess, of the word. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing Muay Thai, and it's going to be tiresome. I expect it to be tiresome. Luckily, it's only 3 days. It's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that's it. And in between those days, I plan to train every day. So in between those days, I'm probably gonna do cardio or something like that. Because for boxing or kickboxing related stuff, you need a lot of fucking cardio, a lot of fucking like a godly amount of cardio. So it's going to be kind of hard because that is my weakness right now. It's what I have the least. I need more air. I need more gas tank, to put it that way. I guess out
Bigger
really,
lung
really quick.
capacity.
Basically, yeah, it's the most important skill in a fight. That one, learning to breathe and to keep your breath going for longer.
Hmm.
Usually, the fighter with a better administration of that of energy wins every single time.
Yeah.
That's how it be. And you don't see that. You know, it's not the most muscular guy who wins and stuff. It's the guy that has better breathing capacity, basically, that knows how to use his stamina better, that knows how to face himself. Usually, uh,
Yeah, I mean, I don't
what?
have much like to put as an input to give since I mean I
Mhm.
don't know much about fighting and all that. I mean, I don't get into like physical fights. The only time I've done it was when someone was fucking with me, and I just grabbed him by the neck, you know,
Yeah,
between my body and my arms like that, and just squeezed. And the only reason why I managed to win that fight is because I don't think he even realized that I was gonna just, as soon as he started fucking with me, I just went for like, I'm gonna choke you. And
nice.
I mean, I think he like panicked or something because he didn't fight back.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
right.
is the only
Uh,
fighting I've done.
were you bigger than him? Were you like a heavier and bigger than him?
No, we were pretty much the same. I mean, we were in the same grade.
Okay, that's interesting. Because usually it's a reality that no human being is going to be able to change really, but size matters, obviously. You know, when fighting unarmed, being the bigger guy and more muscular guy, and also having more stamina, obviously.
Yeah, but I
All
mean,
of
this was
those
also
things matter.
before puberty. So we were, like, I don't think either of us had much. It was before puberty. I don't remember how old I was. Maybe 10, 11.
Okay, so the size difference wasn't that big
Yeah,
back
no,
then.
I mean, it was basically no size difference.
Gotcha, gotcha.
It was more about, well, who got the first strike.
Their
And
reaction.
yeah, and only one of us was even fighting, and that was me. So, but funny enough, I did not get in trouble. He did.
Well, he started, so
Yeah, and even though I mean I almost choked him like until he passed out. Even when people
there is
just
a
yeah.
there is a whole science to fighting, to be honest, and I find that interesting. And I like martial arts because I like fighting games. You know, even if they are
Mm.
anime fighting games or Smash or whatever the fuck. I know it's fun to me to see it in real life, uh, and learn how things work, how body mechanics work, and all that. Well, anyway, so next topic, I guess. We
Yeah, I
can
mean
talk about.
I thought that we could actually because you said something about Monday. And on Monday,
Mhm.
um my mom is actually gonna go and pick up my adrenaline. So
Why do you need that for?
it's gonna be a test for my ME that we will be doing. We're picking up my mom is picking up the adrenaline tomorrow, and then next week they're gonna come home to us, and they're gonna install a adrenaline pump
Oh,
into me.
all right. I don't know
Uh,
what do you need it, but you need
because
energy and stuff or something.
yes, and
Uh,
it might be the case that I don't produce enough adrenaline, and I have like adrenaline. What's it called like my adrenaline. I don't produce enough of it and that might be the reason why I'm like this tired and all that. So they're gonna do this adrenaline treatment to see will it help. Um, then it's gonna pump up a tiny amount of adrenaline over the course of the day.
mhm.
So
Well, I hope that is not costing you a lot, but yeah,
the
good
pump
luck with that.
actually did cost um, around 6,300 Swedish kronor, which I think is around $900.
Hmm.
And then, well, I have no idea how much the adrenaline is gonna cost. Uh, the adrenaline, the pump and the adrenaline are not covered under the healthcare. But the pump is just a one-time buy. The adrenaline, you will have to buy it every month. But according to our doctor, the adrenaline is actually not that expensive. And then there is something else that is expensive that you also have to buy every month. But that thing is covered under healthcare here in Sweden. Then we don't know, is it covered 100%? Is it covered 50%? We don't know yet. But even if it is expensive, I'm willing to try it. And if it works, well, it's worth it.
All right.
And if it doesn't, then at least I tried.
All right. So is this the topic of my medical treatment?
Yeah.
Okay. So what about your weight loss?
It has gone terrible. I'm actually 104 kilos now. I've gained 10 kilos.
I need to gain like 15 or 10 kilos because I'm very low weight for my height. I'm a 5'10", which is like well, I am 178 centimeters, something like that. And
All
I'm
right,
like
we're almost the same height then, because I'm 180, 181.
Well, I'm around there. So and my weight is like 55 kilos.
All right.
You know, I'm super skinny, but I plan to get to like if I was boxing, I will plan to get like to welterweight or like at least featherweight, somewhere around there, featherweight or welterweight.
All right. I have no idea how much that is, but
it's around 65 to 75, something around there, kilos.
all right.
So around there it will be like my healthy weight to do martial arts on, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to get like super high kicks and all that, and not lose agility and those things because you have to be skinny to be agile, to be honest. But it has its defects, right? Like you cannot grapple as strongly with a skinny body. That is just a fact. You sacrifice one thing for another one. That's how it works in real life. Anyway, so to get there, I'm going to buy a weight gainer, which is a barrel of protein, a really big barrel of protein, and I'm going to be eating that like every single day, I guess.
All right. Because do you have problems like increasing your caloric intake, for example?
I have problems gaining weight. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a hard gainer, is what they call them in the gym. I take a long time to get to a certain weight, but when I get to a weight, I maintain it. So that's good, I guess. I'm like an ectomorph. Ectomorph, it's what's called my body type, which is fine. It's very easy to manage. It's very easy to maintain a aesthetic and those things. That's a good part, I guess.
Yeah,
Most
I
of
mean,
weight-
you also do exercise, right? Like you said that you know, you
Yeah.
stretch, you like jog, you whatever.
I go yoga, I do bars, and I do push-ups and bars in park.
Yeah.
And also like a elliptic machine. There is like a machine that is called the elliptic machine, and you do like a rotational movement of the legs, and you can put a weight to them to the machine, and you can do like, I don't know, 10 kilos with each step, and you are it's like you are stepping on heavier stuff, like doing bicycle and something like that. It's for the quads, for the quad muscles, and that is good. I want to be built proportional. I want to be built up proportionally. I don't like looking like, I don't know, like having a super big upper body and having no legs. You know, it looks really bad. It's better to look. It's better to look like a Greek statue. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Anyway, so you watched Princess Mononoke recently, right?
Yes.
Did you like it?
It was okay. I would say out of the Ghibli movies I've watched, it's the second best.
Ooh, that's saying something.
But
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, the Ghibli movies I've watched is Spirited Away, which is my favorite.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best.
And then Princess Mononoke, I did a live stream and reacting to it while painting. Was second. And then the third one was Nausicaa, I think is what it's called. And then my least favorite was Ariete, which was a movie I didn't like.
Okay.
The other ones I thought were okay to good. Ariete, bad.
Have you watched Ponyo, or there's one called Ponyo and there's another one called Howling Castle, something like that.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched those. I do plan on watching them. I kind of want to try and watch one Ghibli movie a month, maybe. Because I actually really like doing the live streams while I paint and watch a Ghibli movie. So I think I'm gonna do that, and just once a month some random Ghibli movie. I think the next one I'm planning on doing is probably Howling Moving Castle, Porco Rosso, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, the one of the pig.
Yeah, like Italian pig.
Uh-huh.
And there's something else. Yeah, I tend to put 3 movies up for people to vote on, and then whichever wins is the one I do.
So I have 2 questions. I forgot the first question already. So what was Princess Mononoke about? I haven't watched that movie. So
What is it about? Well, I would say it's about a balance between manufacturing and taking care of nature, and not
it's
letting
like
your greed destroy nature because it will destroy you
too
as
late for
well.
that. Too late for that in this world.
I don't think so. I don't think it's too late.
Well, it's not too late, but industrialization already won. You know what I mean? That's a really interesting argument actually, because there's a lot of people that are super pro ecology and stuff, but my argument against them would be that the problem with ecology is that we are in competition. So the human is a competitive animal. You know, it's not that it is human nature to be competitive, but because there are so many geopolitical interests, if you slow down your production industrially to be ecological, another nation is going to take advantage of that, and they are going to push their industrialization more, and they are going to win the race against you industrializing, right? Or like making their cities bigger to make their cities boom more, have more production, etc., develop technologies, etc., and so on and so on. Okay.
Well,
So
I
did you?
mean, I can only speak
Uh,
like from the here in Swedish perspective. In Sweden, we are actually pretty good at the ecological and all that. We probably are pretty privileged in the place that we live in the fact that, well, we can support our population while doing things that are like maybe less industrial.
Yes, but you guys are not competing against the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You guys are not really. I mean, Sweden is in NATO, I guess, but they are not really. Um, you know what I mean? Okay,
yeah.
like you're not looking to be the top one
Wait,
economy
are
in the
we in
world.
NATO? I don't think we are.
I'm not sure.
Maybe
Either
we
way,
are. Sweden, NATO. I have to double check. Because I do
yeah, check it.
remember that there was, I think, no, we're not in NATO, but we're in partnership with NATO.
NATO is freaking splitting up anyway.
That's
Recently.
good. Like, I hate all of
Yeah,
these, like,
supranational organizations and all that. Yeah,
like,
where America tells you what to do, pretty much.
and I mean, the splitting up of NATO is probably good for Americans as well. Like,
Yeah, it's
the
something like
amount
that's
of
happening.
money that goes into these, like, military, like,
Pact. Uh-huh.
pacts and all that, it's insane.
Yep.
Yeah, I hate military and all that. I'm pretty
Well,
anti like military.
no, I'm pro-military, but it depends how, obviously. Anyway, uh, so I was going to tell you. Yeah. Recently, France got mad as fuck with America and the UK and Australia because They are. I know vaguely about this information. I'm not sure. I'm not the best at telling you this, but
Hmm.
there is like an organization that they made that is like NATO, I guess.
Hmm.
That is kind of like Aus UK, something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. AUKUS. I'm going to enter it in your chat so you look it up later if you're curious. I'm not sure. So they got mad because they made that union, which is a union based on the Anglosphere. Only the Anglosphere,
Yeah.
only the English-speaking countries, okay? So
Yeah, like
France
the
got mad as
Commonwealth
fuck.
and its former colonies, basically.
Something like that. Maybe they are trying to revive the British Empire. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm like a schizophrenia fucking theorizing here.
Hmm.
I'm not sure about anything that I'm saying right now. This is like vague information. Okay, don't take me seriously.
Yeah.
But they are doing that organization right now. They are planning some organization like that to unite the British interest with the Australian interest, with the American interest, and the Canadian one and shit. So France got mad as fuck at America because of that. They were saying like why they are doing this is unnecessary. Why they are keeping us out. Do they hate us and whatever? And this revived some French nationalism, which is good to be honest because they want to split up from all that bullshit. And I don't know. It's a theory, but maybe NATO will split up. In our lifestyle, in our lifetime, and all that, which would be good, as you said. That will be a good outcome.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think if they want to have like a English-speaking confederation, go for it. Like, I think France should not be involved in that, because I mean, it's the same way. Like, would US be like, "Oh, why are you in the EU?" Blah blah blah. Like,
Also, there was another news recently that there is like a trade organization called the TPP, the
yeah,
Trans-Pacific
yeah, I know about
Pact, something
that.
like
That
that.
is horrific thing.
Well, supposedly America didn't want to uh, be the biggest state participating in that, so they pulled out of that, and China took advantage and just got in the Trans-Pacific Pact thing.
Yeah,
So
I
now
mean,
they are the biggest market inside that coalition of nations, pretty much. Japan is in there as well.
yeah, I mean, it is it's a very terrible deal because it allows a lot of like black-handed work and exploitation of like poorer countries
Hmm. No, yeah, definitely.
and all that, and to like remove industry from the richer members to the poor members, so they can take advantage of those workers to then sell the products back to the rich without taxation, and like,
Yeah, exactly. It's typical corporate capitalism.
yeah.
Those strats. Yeah. Now let's talk about Pokemon. What do you wanted to talk about it? Or Pokemon Coliseum,
Yeah,
my favorite Pokemon game, by the way.
yeah. First, I'm just gonna talk quick about the animation. Just a
Okay.
bit updates. I'm on season 7 because
Jesus Christ.
yeah, I'm planning on watching the entire show.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm on season 7, episode. Wait, I forgot to reopen it after I restarted. Yeah, on episode 361, which is season 7, episode 85.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and Ash is about to fight the 6th gym leader. And
Um,
so far, it's pretty
I'm,
good. I actually
I'm
think
not
season Generation 3 are actually better than Generation 2 so far.
really.
Yeah.
I didn't like. I didn't like the stupid kid with the glasses. The
Yeah,
brother
I
from the
don't
game.
like him either. I think he
That guy was so fucking annoying, dude.
he
Yeah.
is horrific. I hate him. But I really like his sister. I really like
Yeah.
May. And I actually really like the contests, the contest
Yeah.
battles and all that. Yeah, it gives the other characters something to do. Because the problem I had with the first, Generation 1 and 2 is the fact Generation 2 did a little bit better. But Brock and Misty, like, they barely do anything when it comes with their Pokemon,
Yeah.
And it's
They
a
were just tagging
waste.
along.
Yeah, and it's a waste because, I mean, come on, they're both former gym leaders.
Uh-huh.
Let their Pokemon shine as well. And I think the contests allows, the tag-along character to do something. And she also uses some of my favorite Pokemons, which is Torchic, Combusken.
Blaziken, yeah.
Yeah,
Same for me,
Blaziken.
whatever.
I really like Beautyfly.
I usually pick up fire Pokemon in my Pokemon games. Well, not always though. I know that water is usually better because eventually you're going to have to surf and all that
Yeah.
shit.
Which is
Especially in Gen 1. If you want to speed run Gen 1, you gotta pick a Squirtle. As far as I know. All speed runners use Squirtle. But yeah. What else I was going to tell you about Pokemon? Oh yeah, for me the best generation is Gen 1. I don't know if it's nostalgia that I haven't watched it in a long ass time, but the music is super freaking good. So it might be that because I still listen to the OST
Yeah.
sometimes.
It is good. It is actually good. And Generation 1, there isn't that much filler, it feels like. There are filler episodes, but they're not bad. However, the gym battles in Gen 1 are very, very bad.
Oh, okay.
Because
This-
Ash only fights 3 gym battles.
Oh, really? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
and all the others, like, he just gets the badge for doing something else.
Like a task or something like that.
Yeah.
Like in the Orange Islands.
Yeah, something
right?
something like that. Like example, Ash saves a Pokemon from a burning building, and then he
Uh-huh.
gets his badge.
Yeah, which
Or
makes sense.
Ash defeats Team Rocket, and he gets his badge.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So only 3 out of 8 badges he earned, and out of them, I only think 1 or maybe 2 of those battles were like good. Like the battle against Blaine was good, with
Yeah. The one with
Charizard versus
Magmar.
Magmar. That is
Yeah, I
like
remember that.
super
Was
cool. It holds
yeah.
up.
Seismic toss and all that. Oh my god, I
Yeah,
remember all that shit. It was so fucking good. And they fight under the lava as well.
yeah,
And all that the art the freaking art team there was rocking it. Yeah, I remember that. It was so fucking good. As a kid, that shit was, fire.
yeah. And oh man, that's so cool. Why is that the only gym battle that is like that? And the only other gym battle where he fights is against Koga.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, I think it's a 2-on-2, and Koga uses a Venomoth and Venomoth and a Golbat, and the battle is like 8 minutes.
And why was the Johto generation bad? Why was it less good than the third generation?
Yeah. I'll say so far the gym battles are better in 3rd generation, even though they were good in Gen 2 as well. But Gen 2 had a lot of filler
Okay.
that didn't like matter to the story, and like they played no part in other episodes. It was just like, oh, we have to make an episode that actually is a bit worse animated. Nothing happens,
Uh-huh.
and that's it. Like, It's like, oh wait, something did happen. They fought Team Rocket again and defeated them with one attack again. And that's the episode.
But
So
is it but is it good? Would you say that it's
I would say
like as
it
an
is.
anime?
I would still say it's a good generation. Generation 2 is good.
Hmm.
I would say the end league, is much better in Generation 2 than in Gen 1. That is one thing about Generation 1. There's a bit like, is that the league battle, the
Uh-huh.
league tournament, isn't that good.
Yeah, and Edge loses to Richie, some shit like that. I remember to a
Yeah,
better Edge, basically.
yeah, which I don't mind. I actually want Ash to lose the first time he goes to the league. It
Yeah,
makes
because he's a
sense.
fucking
But the way
a
he
noob.
lost is so dumb. It's kind of like he lost because Team Rocket tired out his Pokemon. Like the episode where Ash loses, 70% of that episode is Ash being kidnapped by Team Rocket.
Why the fuck nobody stops Team Rocket? Like the police, they don't have Pokemon that they can help with, and they
They
let a
do.
fucking kid in a tournament doing nothing.
Yeah, they do. And you see them in that episode. They're like, oh, Team Rocket's balloon. Fire flamethrower Arcanine. It flames
Okay.
the balloon down.
Uh-huh.
But then Team Rocket's, it doesn't stop them. It doesn't do anything like to stop Team Rocket. Team Rocket still kidnaps and does all this stuff.
And
Uh,
interrupts the tournament pretty much. Yeah.
yeah, and and also the fact that a lot of Ash's battles, you don't see the
Mhm.
whole battle in his league in the first season or in the first generation. Yeah, you jump in the middle of the battle, Ash wins. You jump in at the very end of the battle, like Ash has one Pokemon left, his opponent has one Pokemon left, Ash wins. It's like, why can't we see the battles? Do you need to just show us 2 or 3 minutes of the battle and then 17 minutes of Ash chasing Team Rocket? Like,
Did you also watch Battle Frontier, I guess? That OVA or whatever the fuck it is.
yeah, I'm not there yet. I think Battle Frontier is.
Oh,
I'm gonna check. It's. Yeah, it's season 9, so.
that's the last of Pokemon that I watched, and I didn't watch it fully at all. That's when I dropped it. I watched there is a really good fight versus Regice and stuff, and you should watch for it. But that's all I remember.
Alright, that sounds
On,
cool.
on that season though, I hate that Pikachu. Ash always orders Pikachu to use Iron Tail. You see Iron Tail a lot in that generation, in the third one, and in Battle Frontier as well.
Yeah,
Iron Tail gets used a lot. It's like the sword of Pikachu, pretty much.
yeah. And you do see Iron Tail a fuck ton in the later season as well. Like, I've been watching Journeys, which is the latest, and
Uh-huh.
also Sun and Moon, I watched. And Iron Tail is like one of his main moves. And I think it has a lot to do with when you to animate.
Animation. Yeah,
Yeah, it
exactly.
looks cool. It's like it gives motion all that instead of just Thunderbolt, like Thunderbolt looks
I,
cool, but it is just Pikachu just standing still shooting a Thunderball or being in the air shooting a Thunderball. There isn't really motion.
I agree. Yeah, it must be something like that. What about Pokemon Coliseum, the game?
Yeah, that is the next Let's Play I plan on doing. Um, Pokemon Coliseum, because I actually had never played Pokemon Coliseum or Pokemon. Oh god. Pokemon Coliseum did have a sequel. I don't remember what it's called. Pokemon.
In my opinion, it's good because it's based on Arizona, and that's cool. I've been in Arizona and all that. Also because it's always double battles, and
Oh, all
uh,
right. That's
and
cool.
your starters are Umbreon and Espeon. Umbreon is my favorite Pokemon of all time. Uh, Also, are you going to care about the natures of the Pokemons when you roll them, but
No,
when you start the game? No? Okay,
no, I
that's fine.
never do.
The game is not even hard, but it's really entertaining. You also cannot catch any Pokemon that you like, only very specific ones.
All right.
You're you're going to realize which those Pokemons are, and you have to heal them and whatnot. If you want to speed up that process of healing the Pokemons and all that, you can use like a how do you call it, like action replay or cheats in the emulator or whatever.
Mm.
You can use that and get yourself infinite healing flutes, something like that, because it takes a long time to heal every Pokemon. So you make them go to your side. You have to like convince them and shit. You're going to see how it works. Okay, I'm not. I don't want to spoil you because it is part of the plot.
Yeah.
That mechanic is really something that is part of the plot. But I like it. I really like the plot because it is the first Pokemon game that you play as an anti-hero, pretty much. That doesn't mind stealing Pokemon. That doesn't mind saying fuck you to the rules and all those things.
Oh, well, that's cool.
So that's cool. The main name of the name of the main character is Wes, I believe, Wes or something like that. But I don't know. You're probably going to name it Peach. I don't know. We're going to
Yeah.
see. I'm going to watch that let's play because I'm interested.
All right. Yeah.
Uh,
That
you're
sounds.
probably going to.
Yeah. Yeah. Go
Sorry,
ahead. Go ahead.
sorry for interrupting. Anyway, you're probably going to need a guide because every old school RPG is like that. Okay, you're going to have to be reading a guide on the side and all that. I hate that shit, but that's who it is. But it's really fun. It has good music. It's really lame, by the way, that on the first battle of the game, which is a tutorial, you get another song altogether. A new song that is really fucking good. The first battle song is incredible, and you never hear it again during all
Oh.
the game.
Okay.
It has many battles like that. So uh, learn to stay in the fight more time to get more gist out of them
All right.
because they have
I'll keep
they
that
have
in
content.
mind.
The first battle is like that. You have to listen to the song and all that because it goes away. So try to extend the fight a little bit, I guess. Uh, so yeah, you are going to enjoy that game a lot. I like how the protagonist looks as well. I like that edgy J rock, Japanese rock style that he has and all that. And it is very desertic, the environment that you're in. Like, super good.
All right.
Uh,
Well, that will be a new like environment.
what is this topic about collabs?
Let's see. Oh yeah. It's more like I want to do more collabs with people when it comes to like content. Um, but I
Invite
don't.
some chatters, invite some people from your audience. I guess you're going to have to do
Yeah.
something with that
But
because
I'm.
it cannot be me every time because
Yeah.
sometimes I won't have topics or I haven't developed my character enough. I guess you can call it like that. Okay,
Yeah.
I haven't had enough experiences to tell you something new and stuff like that to make for a whole video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And
so
it also is the fact that I wanted to start doing more like different like shows or whatever. Like, for example, I would like to do like and which probably could be part of the podcast as well. It's like we decide like, all right, let's watch a movie. Like example, let's say we're gonna watch Eastward. I don't know if it's a game here on Steam. But I'm saying like, let's say it's a movie. Then we both watch the movie or the people involved, and then you talk about the movie. Like a movie show.
yeah,
Um,
watch a movie and then reflect about it.
yeah,
Uh,
after. Um,
um, I got a question for you, Andres. Are you interested in Twitch, streaming in Twitch, something like that,
I
as
don't.
a routine?
No, I don't think I could do it.
Because it really grows you a lot to do some daily stream, especially on Twitch because the UI, the user interface is superior in Twitch. And there are more chances to get money out of streaming in Twitch as well. There's people that have more money in there.
Mm.
So I don't know. It's something to consider, I guess, as you grow the channel. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think I could do Twitch. I
You
think
have to
if
be
I
super
were,
consistent.
yeah, I think if I were to stream, I think I'm gonna do like I do on YouTube, where I stream just occasionally here and there. Because streaming is actually pretty tough, I think. Um,
Yeah, it is draining, definitely. For
yeah,
example, say that you are going to stream 4 hours daily and you're going to get tired in the middle of it. You got to
yeah,
take pee breaks, food breaks and all that stuff. So,
yeah. I mean, I can't even stay in front of the computer for 4 hours normally, even if I do nothing. I can't do
mm.
it. So streaming, oh god.
uh, so I wanted to tell you like my criticism of Nordicism.
Yeah, go
Uh,
ahead.
so
Well, first of all,
I,
what is Nordicism?
it's a type of racist ideology that the Nordic race is the superior one and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
They are superior in their environment. I agree with that. I will say that in the snow they are tall and all that shit. Uh, they have good looking people and whatnot. But being blonde and blue eyed is not the only thing that you're required to be aesthetic anyway. But so there was this debate recently with a streamer that I watch called Infrared Show, and that guy debates super freaking well. His name is Cass from the Infrared Show, and he was debating some fascist kids, irrelevant ideology nowadays. To be honest, I hope that nobody in your audience gets offended because I know that some French people like to label themselves as fascists, but I gotta tell you, man, you're LARPing. You are that shit does not exist anymore. No nation represents it. But yeah, and those kids that he was talking with, infrared, they were Nordicists, and they believe that what I told you, that they
Mm.
think that the whitest people are the superior race and whatnot. And I raised some arguments, in chat against them, and infrared read them and used them in the debate. And he said, if they are so obsessed with racial purity, why they do not fuck their sisters? Because that outcome is going to lead to breeding the most pure race, basically, genetically in DNA. And this is actually true. But when a race is way too pure, when a species, anything, is way too pure, it leads to inbreeding symptoms, right?
Mm.
So right now in
Especially
Iceland,
in
because
mammals,
Iceland is
I think.
yeah, and we are mammals.
Yeah.
So right now in Iceland, I don't know if you know, but because it's a small island,
Yeah, but not
it
many
already
people.
it's already showing some inbred symptoms, and they have an app. They have an
Yeah.
app to not inbreed with each other. That
Yeah.
traces. They have an application that traces the ancestry of every person that is born in Iceland. So they look to for common ancestors. Okay, so they look at this ancestors and they judged. They go like, you have like two or one common ancestor with me, so we must not fuck because that will produce something inbred and so
Yeah.
on.
Or at least increase the risk. I mean, early inbreeding, when it comes to like, you could do it for a few generations uh, before it really becomes like, for example, the chances of like some cousins, if it is just like boom, your first cousins, the first time two cousins do it, get a child, the chances of it like symptoms not very high. It's when it keeps going and keeps going, like cousin, and then that your children have sex with their cousin, and it starts, the chain of like destruction, I guess. In the beginning,
But
it isn't really
the point
that
is,
much higher the risk. I mean, even to, let's say your biological twins. Let's say
Mhm,
your biological twins and one boy and one girl.
mhm.
The chances of you two having like birth defects together, and like you can barely get any closer in genes than those two together. The chances of that producing like genetic defects isn't that much higher than normal. It's if they would continue it on for generations.
Anyway, but the point is, the main point is that it adds up, okay, generation after generation, obviously.
Yes.
This is a problem that adds up. So humanity, for most of the Stone Age and most of the, when we were Homo habilis, let's say, in our evolution and all that, we were fucking third cousins. Okay, we were fucking our cousins, like
Yes.
in the tribe, all the time, because it was what was close to us.
Yes.
So
Uh,
so that was the case. So humanity been pretty much quote unquote inbreeding for the longest of its lifetime as a species.
yes. I mean that's how you
They didn't
get
even
different races, right? It's
pretty
through
much.
inbreeding. Like people who
Uh,
are like, for example, the
I'm
original
not sure about
humans
that, but
were, yeah, but if you think about it, the original humans, they were a bit more dark skinned.
more monkey-like, more chimp-like, I guess.
No, but when you talk about the original Homo sapien that came into Europe, for example,
Uh-huh.
they were more dark skinned. And then some of them started developing lighter skin. And then they started, breeding together. Like maybe a group of, like the Homo sapien that first came into Europe. A specific
Hmm.
group started developing light skin and they started breeding together. And that's how that gene passed on.
Hmm.
Like,
Uh, that is a possible theory, yeah, but we don't know. Okay, like we are not certain, but yeah, that is very likely. That is very likely the correct theory, actually.
yeah,
I
I
agree
mean,
with
if
that.
you
But
consider evolutionary theory as correct, like, yeah, sure, we don't know. We
mhm,
don't know.
exactly, not
Uh,
absolutely right. But yeah, that video that I linked to you in the chat, that it's saying Iceland app prevents accidental incest.
yeah.
There you go. That's what I wanted to tell you. So those Nordicists have a lot of affinity for purity of race, right? As if that it was all that mattered. And I wonder, like, how they think is like, if they see a really hot woman, right? She's kind of tall, she has long, sexy legs and all that. Um, she's
She-
beautiful, facially,
yeah,
but
but she's
she's
African.
no, not African. Like, let's say something whiter, okay, Middle Eastern, okay.
All right, yeah.
She's Islamic. She's like Shantae, okay, like the genie.
Oh,
Let's
oh
say
yeah,
that.
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, so will they not want to fuck her? Will not they want to make that woman the mother of their children just because she's brown? I find that so stupid, so fucking silly, especially for a man, because you don't even carry with the child. But anyway, uh, yeah, I believe that they think like that. They will pick a fat Nordic woman, a fat, short, ugly Nordic woman over Chantay, okay, which is ridiculous to me. I do believe in eugenics, but I believe in eugenics in a human way. I don't believe in them exactly as racial, because I believe that going the racial route, the racial purity route, is disingenuous, actually. I already do not believe that humanity is going to live forever. It's probably on its road to extinction one day. It's going to be infertile after some generations. At some point, it's inevitable. It happens to all animals.
Yeah, I
But
mean, depends. Infertility, I don't think that is going to be the thing to destroy humans. The humans as we know them. I mean, probably just like our ancestor, the same thing is gonna happen to us. There's gonna, who knows, maybe in 1,000 years if we survive that long.
mhm,
Because who knows what happens with the environment, like.
yeah,
Uh,
maybe some strand of food that we eat, right? Like agriculture goes extinct. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
maybe something like that goes extinct, and as a result, our population decreases. Our population pyramid peaks, and then it
and then
reverses, right?
maybe certain humans can still let's say wheat. example, all grains. For some reason, all grains mutate in a way that humans can no longer digest it.
And that's pretty much over for us
Yeah.
because that means that our population will decrease a lot or we will go extinct.
But
You know,
a
when
very small amount of people can survive, still digest it. Like, there is a chance that maybe if they then continue breeding with each other, or maybe it is kind of like a small offshoot of Homo sapiens sapien creates a small offshoot of Homo sapiens sapien that then becomes like something else, like Homo sapien asobi. You know, just like how we are descendant from something else. I'm sure something else gonna come and replace us.
Well, eventually humanity has to go extinct, though. You know, as an animal, it won't go forever. That is just the truth. No animal goes forever, no matter what.
Yes.
Not even if if an asteroid never hits, the planet or whatever, it eventually has to go extinct, because I don't know, like a food source runs out, or their genetic diversity runs out, and that's it, and it's over. But we'll see. You know, we can last long at least, and that is good. And we can develop a civilization, leave something behind. You know, leave a history behind for something, for another intelligent life form to find it. But I really do not think that there will ever be, possibly, there will never be another life form as smart as the human animal on this planet. That this planet can make. You know, possibly not. That is my theory, though. I'm not sure.
Well, would you consider descendants of humanity as humans, or what would you
Yes,
say, like a Homo
consider them
erectus?
humans.
Would you consider them humans?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
All right.
Homids,
Well, then
of
we
course.
are on the same page.
Yeah, I consider them
Because
homids.
some people, they consider only Homo sapiens sapien as humans.
No.
But all right, we
The whole
we agree
the whole
on that.
the whole ancestry line is what I'm labeling as humans for the sake of simplicity.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the argument that I had with Nordicists, and the Nordicists were not able to cope with it. You know, they hated the argument because, oh no, racial purity is syngenic. Oh my God, what are you saying? And I'm saying, like, yeah, dude. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I'm going to give them this. Okay, you can still retain the features that you like. Okay, if you fetishize blonde hair and blue eyes, fine. Okay, I don't give a fuck. But you have to not get your you have not to you have to avoid mating with a person that has the same ancestors as you. This is a fucking fact. Okay, if you really like blue eyes and blonde hair, you can go fuck a Swedish girl. You can go fuck a Nordic girl, a Finnish girl, whatever the fuck. But just don't get them from, I don't know, from Iceland, and she's your cousin and whatever the fuck. Okay, be careful with that shit. You know, for the health of humanity. Okay, I don't give a fuck about your nations of racial purity. Just be smart. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I don't care about either of those things. I think if people want to have sex with their sisters, their brothers, their cousins, whatever, I say go for it. If you want to have children like that, go for it. That is
But
my
the
point. Like, I don't
The
actually.
problem is that they are hindering humanity back then
Well,
by doing that.
I mean, I don't really care about that. I do believe that people's personal choice is way more important than humanity's, like, the
Optimization.
betterism of humanity. I mean, let's say
I'm not sure about that.
everyone
because,
in
I
Iceland.
plan to have children, right? And imagine if I
Yeah,
have
but
children,
I
and my
mean, all
children
right.
find those people, inbred people, right?
Yeah, but
And they will
I
be-
mean, there's 7 billion people. If
Luckily, yeah.
yeah, but let's say even if 1 billion, no, well, let's say 500 million people decide, you know what, we're just gonna have sex with our own siblings.
Eventually, it's going to happen.
Yeah, and
Maybe
what's gonna
tomorrow,
happen
yes.
is that they are gonna die out, and the ones who don't are gonna continue living on.
Yeah, but it's not forever. You know, I hope that you realize it. Okay.
Yeah, but
Genetic
I don't care about
diversity.
forever. That's the thing. Like, for me,
Okay.
forever means like nothing is forever. So why worry
Nothing's
about the
forever, yeah.
forever?
Well, then I will argue that at least you can attempt to extend it. okay, which is what I will want ideally, right? On an ideal world. I know that I cannot make a difference in this. It will be so ridiculous for that to be my life mission because it's so fucking hard to manage so many people, obviously.
No,
I can
but
only
why?
manage myself,
Wait. What
really.
do you mean? Not extend it? I don't understand
No,
what you
no,
mean
no,
by the
no.
extend.
I mean, I would like to extend it, to extend the life of humanity, pretty much. Okay, and to do that, we must be careful with what we choose biologically to reproduce with, right? Do you get my gist? You know,
Yeah, but
what I like is that humanity
no,
eugenizes
no. Actually, I don't
themselves in a
agree with
way
you. Actually, I don't.
because you prefer the individual choice about those things.
Yeah, and not only that is the fact that that is kind of like how evolution works in a sense. You let whatever breed in whatever capacity that they can. And you're gonna get a bunch of different, like you're gonna get people who are super inbred, you're gonna get people who are not, you're gonna get people who are complete mutts of everything, and maybe some of those mutts are gonna be with these super inbred people, and then they're gonna create something different, and then whatever works the best for the environment that they live in are gonna become more successful as a species,
Okay,
as members of
I
that species.
I agree with the later half that you said there. Absolutely, I agree with that.
Because
But you
I,
said something, but you ignored something that I said at the start of this topic, which was that there was people that were planning the reproduction to end up becoming inbred for the sake of racial purity, and I think that is dysgenic. Okay. Anyway, those people, I can say that they do not concern me, right? Because they are the ones going extinct. I don't give a fuck,
yes.
right? But I do care, I'm telling them, at least fuck a Swedish girl, at least fuck a Norwegian chick, whatever the fuck. But get some genetic diversity. Make sure that you don't have ancestors in common, and that's all. That's my overall message. Okay.
All right.
Ideally, I cannot do that. Obviously, okay. This is idealism. This is
Yeah, yeah.
fantasy.
Obviously,
Uh,
it's your opinion.
yeah,
It's kind of like what
I
you
cannot I cannot plan the reproduction
of
a
others.
million of human beings. It's yeah, it's impossible. It's impossible. It's fucking impossible. This is fantastical. So ideally, I will have every single human being plan their reproduction. Okay, ideally, but we don't live in this ideal world. So
Yeah, oh God.
what I think doesn't matter.
No,
Overall,
I
in the
mean
grand
what you
scheme
think
of
does
things.
matter to you, right? And I guess it matters
Well,
to
to
the
me, yeah.
conversation that we're talking about. It's just a
Yes, yes, but it cannot impact 7 billion people. It's impossible. So yeah, that's what I
yeah.
mean. Anyway, so next topic was related to this one a little bit, fascism. Uh, so this guy Infrared was debating fascists, right? And fascists because they no longer have any nation that represents them, such as Italy or another or some third position nation such as Nazi Germany and so on.
Yeah.
There are no longer nations like that. So because of that, they were saying that China was fascist, trying to assimilate them into their ideology. But what that would imply was that China is like Han nationalist, and it would also imply that China is not materialist, and China is actually materialist. So the tenets of fascism are that, according to Benito Mussolini himself, are that you have to be spiritual. So you are anti-materialist. You don't like materialism. He says that he has a disdain for materialism,
Oh, okay.
and also he's highly pro-war. He says that fascism is actually pro-war. I don't know why the fuck he wrote that in his book, because if you are pro-war yourself, you have not to say that shit. It's something that you keep to yourself. You know what I mean? For military planning and so on.
Well,
But he says it. He says that shit outright. He says that fascists need to seek conflict because humanity is about conflict. That is true, by the way. Humanity is about conflict. Biological existence, you gotta be struggling. That is true. But he gets wrong that you need to be at war with other nations that are bordering you and so on. and that's why Italy justified with that ideology its war against Ethiopia and those places at the
Yeah.
south of their borders, in Africa. But I think it was, I think that fascism is overall a really vague ideology on purpose, so it gets people uh, to rally for it, pretty
Yeah,
much.
without really knowing what they're rallying behind.
It's something like that. I believe that their economic system is mixed economy. It fuses some corporatist elements, but in a syndicalist way, in a syndicate way.
Yeah,
So they are a
because the
bit
way that when I think of
they are a bit
fascism,
socialist. They are a bit socialist in that manner, in the economics, a little bit, a little bit.
yes,
But they
because when
are
I think of fascism, what I think about is a semi-market capitalism with,
uh-huh,
but the government
central
has
plans the economy,
eyesight over it.
which is what you compare China with, right? I
Yes,
guess.
and I would also
Okay.
I would also say a lot of European nations today. I mean, I
But
mean,
that does not make them fascist though, because fascism is some other idealisms
no,
uh,
no,
tied to it.
yeah, I don't think China is fascist. I think
Hmm.
not. I wouldn't say Sweden is fascist either, but I would say there is fascistic elements.
Well, yeah, but they are common as fuck, in every nation. So
Yes,
it's because they work very much in the economy. That's what you mean, right?
yeah, because I mean, for example, I would not want a free market capitalism,
Yeah, me neither. Uh-huh.
because I mean,
This
I
that facilitates monopolies very easily and
yeah, and I
the
also
economy
do
gets fucked.
think that I mean the point of government is to protect the people, right?
Yeah, central planning is good. Some kind of central planning, at least.
Yeah,
You know.
which is, but I also don't want the government to have full control because it doesn't seem to work out
Mhm.
that well since
Well, in an ideal world, if they were super freaking smart, philosopher kings or whatever, to use a Socratic term, the philosopher king, if they were super stupidly smart, then yeah, they can control anything. I don't care.
yeah,
But
but
they, yeah,
if it we
they don't.
lived in such a place, then in in that idealistic place, then sure. I mean,
Mhm.
I think you could live even under fascism. If it was like idealistic fascism, the way that they say blah blah, sure.
Yeah,
Idealistic
like a,
communism, sure. I don't think there's
uh,
a single. I don't think people make out to make ideologies like bad on purpose. Obviously, that they have a idealistic view of what they
mhm.
like, and then they go for it. And they might not think about, well, you don't live in an idealistic world.
Obviously
Um,
not. Yeah. That's why there is like two types of socialism, that, like they say, right? The labels, which are scientific socialism, the Marxist one, and utopian socialism, and so on. So I believe that the one of fascism is a more utopian take on socialism. It's not
yes.
it rejects Marx, absolutely. Yeah, they dislike Marx. Even Benito Mussolini says that, and even the Spanish flankerists and so on hate Marx. They didn't like him because the ideology was materialistic, which is ironic because Mussolini also says that the materialist person, the atheist and the materialist, does not know how to die, and the spiritual person knows how to die well and shit. But in history, this was proven wrong because the fascists, when they were being fucking mauled the fuck out by the Soviets, they were the ones writing that they were cowering. Oh my god, the Soviets are so fucking savage and shit. They were writing shit like that they were so scared by the Soviets coming around their borders and shit. So no, Mussolini gets it wrong. Absolutely, he was a coward and he died like one.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
I think everyone would be afraid in war.
Obviously, yeah, the
I
the human
mean,
instinct comes out inevitably. But why does it come out? The instinct, because it's a material world. And he was denying that. So yeah, it's ironic. Uh, what else? They are anti-materialists. They are extremely pro-war. They actually are to the point that they are anti-peace. They are anti-peace and so on.
And does that have to
And
do with the fact that they believe to keep a race strong, you need to be in
well,
constant warfare to prove, or do you know why they are pro-war, other than the
I
fact to justify expanding their borders?
well, it's different from for the fascists and the Nazis. I don't have them in the same exact camp though. I think that the third position of the Nazis is more like a ethno-nationalist, or more like a racialist, and the fascists, at least initially, that the Mussolini camp, they were more civic nationalists. Because Italians are already a very mixed people.
Yes.
So I think that they gave less fucks about race. Mussolini gave less fucks about race, and they started caring about race when the alliance with Hitler became stronger. So that's when elements from the other nation were merging with their nation as well when the alliance happened and all that. So yeah, that's why I don't think that China is can be fascist, because it's basically because China has a materialist view of things. First of all, first and foremost, which is super core to Marxism, and China still worships Marx and so on. They even made an anime about Marx. I don't know if you know about it. It's
Well,
kind of
what
like
would you
the
consider
leader.
China then?
I will consider it, to be honest, central planning socialism. I don't consider it even capitalism, but it's on its way there, I guess. It's because I believe that to have socialism, you have to be able to afford it. You have to be able to get rich first to pay for all the infrastructure that the citizenship is going to need. But I need that. But I think that the core ideal of socialism is central planning, for sure, because socialism in itself is very vague to define as well, and I dislike that because there is a lot of leftist, socialist, whatever the fuck. I don't consider leftist precisely socialist, but in the American context, yes. But yeah, anyway, that's another
Okay.
topic. That's another
I
topic
don't know.
altogether.
Because
It's very
I
vague.
would probably
That's the point.
consider China as like a closed market capitalism.
But it is super centrally planned, and the capital is there to get super taxed, and they get controlled by the state, because they don't want some businessmen, for example, like Jack Ma. They are called like that, Jack Ma or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, was it
The,
Tencent or was it
the leader of AliExpress, okay, the owner of
AliExpress? Oh
AliExpress,
yeah, Alibaba Corporation, right?
uh, Alibaba Corporation, that guy.
Yeah.
So they don't want a guy like him, which is a kingpin of trade. They don't want him leading the country, because that will be catastrophic for China.
Yeah, but
Imagine that.
isn't that kind of like what a closed capitalism is? It's capitalism, but it is very heavily looked on by the government,
I
and
mean, maybe it is, and maybe you
like
are right.
it's a
Maybe I'm wrong here.
capitalism
Hmm.
controlled by the government, like because I mean they do have stock companies. They
But
are
here's my overall take. Okay, if it is a closed capitalism, or centrally planned capitalism, let's call it like that. If it is that, I don't give a fuck. I will say that is good. I will be like, that fucking system really works, and I like it. I like it. If I run my country, I will run it kind of like that economically, at least. I wouldn't be super oppressive, super draconian with the laws like China passes, because I wouldn't like to live in China unless it is in Shanghai. Living in Shanghai seems super fucking cool, to be honest. I would love to live in Shanghai, or in Beijing maybe. But every other place in China, no. I wouldn't be a fan of it. Uh,
I
but
could
yeah,
not
that is
imagine
my take.
that.
That is my take. That is my take. That it works. So whatever it is, socialism or centrally planned capitalism, I really don't care. I think more like Deng, like the Deng reforms and so on in China. That he says that it doesn't matter if the cat is black or white. What matters is that the cat catches mice, and that's it. That was his quote.
Yeah, all right.
Uh,
Well, I guess I'm a bit too Swedish. I would love, like, if I were in charge, I would probably still do the Swedish way, I think.
mhm.
But I would make it actually a bit more, uh, like, open in a sense.
Less draconian with the laws, the internet laws, and so on. That's what you mean.
Yeah.
Did you know that they banned K-pop recently?
Who?
They banned that shit. China.
Oh.
They didn't like the aesthetic of K-pop because it looked too feminine, and
Yeah,
they were
like
saying that
stupid stuff like that. Like,
they were saying that it was going to end up making men gay and shit. So they banned that shit,
yeah,
and and
like,
K-pop fans got super mad. But I don't think that they can stop it. Even if they ban it, they cannot stop it because K-pop in Asia is super extremely big already. Every Asian person that I have met in my life has been a fan of K-pop. So
yeah, and also
no,
you're just making it like a hidden thing to do, like a cool thing to
yeah,
listen to now.
yeah, exactly. They are going to traffic that shit out. That's how it's going to happen.
Uh,
That
no,
wasn't an effective policy.
yeah, like
Uh,
stuff like that. Fuck off. Like,
mhm,
yeah, for example, here in Sweden, like I really like how our economy is when it
mhm,
comes to, like, especially when it comes to the stock market and inheritance laws and all that stuff. I think it's pretty good here in Sweden.
mhm,
Um, but what I would do is that I would remove some of this, like, for example, in Sweden. Um, oh God. Like, for example, cannabis. Cannabis is, like, super illegal here in Sweden. But I would
mhm.
make it so that, no, it should be legal, but we should do it the same way we do alcohol. For example, alcohol is a government monopoly here in Sweden.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and I would be like, yeah, do that for all the drugs. Like, let the government have the monopoly on it so that, like, that, all right, it's going to be safe. And yeah, I mean, instead of, like, the people are not going to not do these drugs just because it's illegal.
Yeah.
So make them legal, but make them under, like, government monopoly.
Hmm.
It worked for alcohol here in Sweden. Sweden had super alcohol problems. And
Hmm.
then when the government took control of it, we still have alcohol problems, but not as bad.
Uh, Another topic that I wanted to speak about related to China, I guess, is that they had a Hanfu, Han era fashion revival.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, I don't know if you would like to see some pictures of that. It looks super good.
Yeah, the
The fashion.
Han Chinese and their culture and all that.
Yeah, it's freaking beautiful though. I like it a lot, and it's really good that they are, I don't know, booming. I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's too bad that they, for some reason, have to take it out on the Cantonese and the
they will
Uyghurs.
forever. Yeah, of course they will forever do that. It's an empire. Uh, I ain't a fan of Islam anyway, so to be honest, I don't care that much about the Uyghurs. If the genocide is true, if the genocide is fake, whatever, I don't care. I think that how do you call it? Like jihad must be stopped at any cost. Um, especially
I don't think
especially if you are
arresting
already
and doing it to, like, children and innocent people is the way to do it.
well, it depends though, because for example, you what you will rationally do is arrest the ones that were playing the jihad, right? And you will put them in labor camps, whatever the fuck. Okay, so
I
they
wouldn't put
learn
them in labor
to
camps. I'll put them in prison. I'm
or
against
kill
labor
them
camps as well.
or kill them or whatever. Okay,
I'm
whatever
against
your
death
punishment.
penalty. Like, I'm a very, very, like, Swedish left-wing liberal when it comes to that stuff.
Okay, well,
Like,
whatever your punishment might be. Okay, uh, they were planning to make a war crime. Okay, So you have to get their families too, because you don't know if he was radicalizing them as well. But you have to get their family on you have to put on upon them another type of punishment, I guess. You have to put them on labor schools, vocational schools, whatever. Force it, yes, yes, by force. So they learn to integrate in society, in Chinese society, so they don't be killing your fucking Chinese citizens. Okay, but your main duty is to defend the Chinese citizenship first and foremost. So I do agree with that, with what they did there. Um because I seen how the fucking radical Muslims are. You know, they're fucking terrible, dude. And if they are fucking like that, if they're trying to fuck with an authoritarian government like China, in that way, you know, they should expect to get fucked for it. Absolutely. You know.
Yeah,
Uh,
the ones who do it should expect to get fucked.
yeah.
But I cannot say that.
They do not arrest all the Uyghurs, by the way, because it's impossible. There are too many to arrest them all.
Yeah,
If you
but
go to if you go to Xinjiang, you are going to see Uyghurs walking around and stuff, you know, minding their business. It is true that they get how do you call it, like they get checked upon. They have a lot of cameras around the town and so on.
yeah, yeah, but I
That is
mean,
true.
I
That is
like
absolutely
for
true. But
example, like arresting someone's family. Like let's say someone
if
did
he's
something
that,
bad, arresting his.
if,
Like for example, would you support arresting? You know the people who stormed, fuck,
the
Capitol in
capital
America.
in
Would you support
no,
arresting their families?
no, absolutely not. But these ones are radical Muslims, though. You know, I see them as different
Uh,
because they pass over the ideology, the religion, and all the fanatism. So in this case, yeah, because they are fucking Islamic terrorists. Of course, yes. You know, I will
uh,
be like, I will get the family and I will check them out at least. You know, are they fucking you know, fanatized and so on?
I mean, maybe
Uh,
you could talk to them, like talk blah 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 blah. Sure, but putting them into camps, putting them like
because
removing them from their homes,
the
no,
problem, if you don't
absolutely
address that
not.
problem, Andreas, I think that if you don't address that problem early, I think that they can become the successors of their fathers. That is the problem.
Well, I think the way that they're doing it is gonna cause the bigger problems. It's like America did when they fucking invaded Iraq and Afghanistan. They didn't stop any terrorists. They only created more.
Hmm.
You bomb
Well,
someone, you kill, you attack innocent people. That is gonna create terrorism. Like,
the terrorism is already there now.
yeah,
It's
sure,
just
there
like
are some terrorists, but you're creating more. You're not reducing the amount of terrorists. Like, oh man, we'll see in like 5 to 10 years. But I do believe China is gonna
it's going to
suffer the
have
way that America has done in
if it
their.
expand if it expands westwards, okay, to their west. If it expands more to the Middle East, which it will inevitably do, it will get some terroristic problems. Yeah, but here's the thing: terrorism does not work as well against the authoritarian governments. They are better at dealing with terrorists because you know that they are already draconian with how they deal with it. They cannot terrorize the nation because the nation already knows how to subsist in really autocratic conditions with a maximum security and so on, and you know, and laws like that. You know, very extreme uh, ways of doing the law. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. We're going to see. You're right. What China is planning to do though is they're planning to make like the Silk Road, a trade route that goes to Afghanistan and then it travels all the way to Europe. I think it travels to Turkey, and then it goes up into Europe and so on.
Mhm.
We're going to see if they can make it. But yeah, they had this can fashion revival that I posted here. You know that picture. It looks pretty fucking lit, to be honest. I like it. Uh,
Yeah,
and what other topic do we have there?
traditional dresses and all that are cool.
Yeah, traditional dresses and stuff like that, and robes and so on.
You know, like I think anything outside of the like the more modern clothing, the more modern comfy clothing, I think it looks cool. I mean, I still prefer like the more modern comfy clothing because they're comfy and I don't really care that much about style and fashion. I care more about just comfortability and some like, but it looks cool.
Yeah, I like I can see myself wearing that if I was I don't know, in Shanghai or in Beijing, whatever.
Well, I mean,
Even as a foreigner, I don't think that they will mind.
no,
The
no,
only
I
people that
mean in where you live. Um,
it's impossible. It's super hot.
no, no, but like traditional dresses or traditional
There
outwear.
is. I will wear a mariachi outfit. Those are pretty cool, actually.
Yeah,
Maybe
like
I actually done that, but it was like a costume, not a real mariachi outfit. Tailored and super fancy and all that. I would like to have one of those one day, maybe, because I do like that tradition. What else? We have the. Oh, you also told me that you want to get an oxygen gas supplement treatment, something like that.
yeah, that's part of the adrenaline thing. After the adrenaline one, I'm gonna be getting like uh, oxygen supplement as well.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
To see, and that also has to do with the MECFS treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what it is to see if it will help.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Because often when they do this adrenaline one, they do the oxygen as well. So it's like, because oxygen by itself, not very high success rate. Adrenaline by itself, not very high success rate, but together they have a slightly higher success rate.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Did you watch that Wukong game trailer that I sent to you the other day? It is a game like Dark Souls. That it
yeah, I
was.
did watch it, but I kind of forgot. It looked
Mhm.
like a pretty-ish Dark Souls game. I mean,
It's being developed by some Chinese studio supposedly and so on. We're going to see if it's good. It looks decent, but I'm probably by then I'm probably like too burned out of Dark Souls type of games. It looks a lot like Sekiro, actually, and Sekiro was kind of boring.
yeah, because I'm
It looks.
watching the fight with like the dragon. I mean, the
Uh
thing that I like just by this trailer
huh.
is the setting. Like, it's something, like it's a it's like a like fantasy Chinese setting. That's cool. It's not
Yeah, it's called
something.
Wuxia. Wuxia. It's called that Chinese fantasy. It's called Wuxia. That
Yeah,
is.
it's not
Ooh.
medieval European.
Yeah, typical settings and so on.
Yeah,
Or it's not Japanese either. That which we have
yeah.
already seen.
So it's nice seeing like some diversity in the settings.
Mhm. I agree. So that's it. We can close it off with those topics already.
Yeah, so I mean that was the podcast.
Hmm.
Thank you guys for watching, and if anyone ever wants to join in on the podcast, just leave it in the comments, and yeah, we'll invite you to Discord.
Take care and good night.
Good night.